What is going on, guys? My name is Angry1. Welcome to the Valheim Introduction Series. Today I will show you how to get ahead of most players by the end of day 1. This video should not only teach you how to get flint weapons, a bow, leather gear, but also spawn in the boss by day 1. In this series, I will guide you through the basics of Valheim from start to finish as we enjoy this awesome 1 gigabyte, it's crazy game together. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Upon starting Valheim, you will have to create a character. I named mine Steve, which is a direct relationship to Minecraft. If you guys know, you know. But go ahead and create your character to your liking, as well as start up the survival match. Once Munin has flown you in, you will see tips from Hugin. He's a raven as well. These tips are super useful. I definitely recommend reading through them. Of course, for the purpose of this video and trying to get everything done by day 1, I'm going to be skipping these. First things first, we need to find wood, food, and stone. In the meadows, which is the start biome, you can find tree branches on the ground or break small sapling trees. For rocks, I recommend going to the closest river or stream, as you can find them on the shoreline. Not only can you find rocks here, but you can also find flint, which is going to be super valuable for the other items we're going to be creating later on in this guide. On your way to the nearest stream or river, I would recommend looking around for some raspberry bushes or even mushrooms on the ground. Food increases both your stamina, allowing you to run longer and attack for longer periods of time, and also your health. So later on, once you find some deer, boar, or necks to kill, I would recommend making a fire and cooking their meat on a cooking stand. This meat will give you not only more stamina, but also more health. A tip for this is make sure you are there when your meat is done cooking, because otherwise it will turn into coal if it has sizzled too long. The way you know it is done cooking is it will sizzle. Once you have found some rocks and wood, you can go ahead and create a stone axe through your player inventory by clicking tab. This will allow you to chop down trees faster, as well as kill enemies quicker. I recommend getting this first before the hammer. Once you have grabbed this, you can get more wood to be able to make your hammer. The hammer is super useful because not only can you make a fire, but you can also make a cooking rack for cooking your meat. This includes killing deers, boars, and necks. They give you different sources of meat, all which is super useful for increasing your health and your stamina. Along with this, the hammer allows you to create a workbench by going over the crafting menu and placing this down. This will open up a variety of different options to place down walls, roofing, floors, etc., etc. But you also need to cover up your workbench to get the next step. Once you have done this, you will need to place 2 walls on the back side as well as a roof over the workbench. Sometimes you will need 2 additional walls on either side, left and right side, to get that protection that it needs from the outside environment to be able to access the workbench. Run up to your workbench after you have done this to be able to use your workbench. This will allow you to craft different items and weapons, as well as repair and upgrade your weapons. The next step we are going to be progressing to is creating a flint spear, a crude bow, and a shield. Leather scraps are required for the crude bow, the shield, and the flint spear, so we're going to need to kill some boars for their leather scraps. At this level, unless you're killing multiple star boars, you're only going to get 1 leather scrap, so we need to kill a lot in the early game. Boars can be found in the meadows, typically near the water or in the open grasslands area of the meadows, so that is where I would look for this. Again, we do need to kill a large amount since we are crafting multiple items here. The next step is getting deer heads and leather. Leather is going to be used for our leather armor to protect us against the boss while doing the boss fight, as well as the 2 deer head are required to spawn the boss at his altar. Deer are pretty easy to find, but in the early game, these are going to be hard. That's why we crafted the flint spear, because you can throw the flint spear using middle mouse to throw a spear and kill the deer, as well as crafting some arrows will allow you to kill them with a bow. I recommend using the flint spear as it is just easier to craft in the beginning, as well. You don't have to waste wood on arrows. Now that you guys have enough leather to craft some leather armor, go ahead and make the chest and the pant legs. You're going to need to go into your inventory by pressing tab and right click on both of these to equip them. Now at this point, you should have killed enough deer in the meadows to get 2 deer head. If you don't, keep hunting deer. Try to get 1 more or 2 more deer head depending on where you're at. Again, these are required to spawn in the boss, so you will need both of these. Now that you guys have 2 deer head, I want to run you guys through how this boss fight works. First off, there's a couple things. First off, you need the 2 deer head as well as to know where the altar's at. This can be done by going to spawn. To the left of Eikthyr's sacrificial stone, there is a red glowing rune that you can interact with, which will show you his location on the map. The second thing that is important is you need to eat a good meal before you go in. This will not only give you stamina, but also good health. Cooked meat is a number 1 because you can kill deer or boars to get the meat and cook it on a fire. So I recommend doing that. Grilled necktail is also another one. These can be found near the river or ocean shores. They kind of sit in the water, so kill those and cook their meat. That'll also give you a good amount of health and stamina, as well as a raspberry, mushroom, or if you have gone into the dark forest, you might have blueberries. But those are the 3 that I would recommend early game. They're going to give you the maximum health and stamina for early game to be able to not only kill Eikthyr, but also to defend against his attacks. The strategy to kill Eikthyr is to use a wooden shield and a flint spear. I started with a crude bow and some wooden arrows. This didn't go too great. It didn't do too much damage, but once I ran out of arrows, I realized quickly that this does way more damage as long as you are willing to be a little bit more up and close and personal with Eikthyr, as well as avoid most of his attacks. They don't do a ton of damage if you have leather armor, but you got to be careful. You got to be strategic when you do this. Once you have defeated him, 2 things will drop upon killing Eikthyr. This is his Eikthyr trophy, which is pretty much his head. You can take this trophy to spawn and mount it on his respective stone, which will give you Eikthyrs Forsaken power. By activating this power using F, the player is able to get 60% less stamina drain for running and jumping for 5 minutes. Early game, this is absolutely amazing. You can run pretty much anywhere. It will not only build up your run ability, but also increase your jump ability for the future, which is very, very important as the game progresses. The second thing that Eikthyr drops is 3 hard antlers upon defeating him. 1 hard antler is needed to craft the Antler Pickaxe at the workbench. This pickaxe is crucial to advance to the next step, which is the ore stage of the game. Copper ore can be mined as well as tin to create bronze, and now we are in the Bronze Age. For our next video, go ahead, leave a like on the video, subscribe if this has been helpful. We will advance into the Bronze Age next week. So guys, stay tuned for that. I hope you guys did enjoy it. And comment with any questions you have or anywhere that wasn't explained well enough to help other people out. With that, guys, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more Valheim content.